Happy Yuletide season. Yay. We are just past Thanksgiving here in the United States, and I'm going to do an unboxing of Christopher Hughes' deck. The art is by Aaron O'Leary Brown. This is his Yuletide Tarot, and I'm really excited to share this with you. I don't do a lot of unboxings, but if you want to see more of them, you can look at my deck reviews playlist. It's in there. And wow, that is a chunky book. We'll get into that in a minute. This is my first time looking at this. We're going to look at it together. Let's look at this. On the shortest day and the longest night, my gift to you is warmth, the warmth of light. Nice, because of course, the returning of the sun. Many of you know that I follow the Wheel of the Year. I have my own way of doing it. It's sort of based on the seasons and cycles of our land. And I really encourage you, if you're somebody who's into nature spirituality or just want to add some depth to your life, getting into the Wheel of the Year and doing so as a natural rhythm in your own life is super fun. Okay, so I'm going to do a flip through and kind of just talk about my initial oh, interesting. So it starts, let's do this. Well, here's the backs. First of all, let's look at the backs. This is a Llewellyn deck, and you can tell by the ginormous box. Not a fan of these ginormous boxes, I have to say, but I really wanted this. Christopher Hughes is amazing for so many reasons. He's just an amazing writer, and so I'm super excited for this. And of course, we call Yule midwinter. That's a little bit more of how I celebrate it, is the idea that this is midwinter that we are in. And you can see the backs here are really cute. You know, it's a typical Llewellyn deck. We all know what the cardstock is like. We all know that it's shiny. So there we go. We're going to start out with the Fool, I hope. No, we're not, because I just did the same thing that I just did. Here we go, you guys. I can do this. Oh, before I do, I'm going to tell you that I have a free learning library with all sorts of cool printables. Check that out down below. Okay, so here for the Fool, we have the Child. And of course, that makes total sense. I hadn't even thought about how this deck might work, but yeah, that makes sense to me that the Child would be, I mean, think about, let's go back for a moment to when you were young, the magic of this time of year and just waiting. And here you can see he's looking for Saint Nick. There's the Magus. And of course, this is a Celtic knot up here with the mistletoe. Ooh, Mary Lud. Wow. Okay, this is going to be really, is this going to be very Welsh? I'm going to just peek. All right, it took me a bit to figure this out. I'm not surprised that these are going to be Welsh characters. I have to tell you that my understanding of Welsh pronunciation is limited. I'm studying it right now, so I'm going to butcher these names. Some of the things I know, some of them I don't. So I'm sorry for those of you who know how to say this correctly. Okay, let's just kind of flip through here because I don't want to go too slowly. The Empress, which is Matrona. The Holly King. Yes, very cool for the Emperor, the Holly King. Ah, Sinterklaas. Now that is actually Norwegian, I think. Sinterklaas is Norwegian. So this is going to be interesting. Here's mistletoe. Oh, interesting that they did mistletoe. Okay, that's cool. That's really fun. Okay, and the Chariot, of course, is his sleigh. And there's the reindeer. We don't have a bunch because that's a newer rendition, just a few. Strength, there he is. This, to me, feels very Finnish. My husband is Finnish. I mean, very Finnish. And they live up in Reindeer. He's got Sami blood in him, so this really feels like the Finnish sort of sense. Father Christmas for the Hermit. Interesting. I like that. And I would just bet money that these are going to be just fabulous. He's going to expound on each one of these characters and, well, there's balance. But let's go back and see if we can get back here to Father Christmas and see what it says there. Look how fun the book is, you guys. It's a really nice book. It's so big. And I love the Christmas paper on there, Father Christmas. In traditional texts, this is usually the hermit, which implies solitude and inner searching. The figure of Father Christmas fits this function rather beautifully, and whilst seemingly straightforward in appearance, this figure hides a complexity of history. There he is. Let's take a better look at him. Hides a complexity of history and tradition that is millennia in the making. This figure is not to be confused with the earlier Sinterklaas, which has a different evolutionary trajectory through the pages of history. Father Christmas is an enigmatic figure that captures an ancient spirit that was loved and vilified in equal measure. He is the first personification of the Christmas spirit that emerged from the Middle Ages and into the modern era. This same spirit can be seen in numerous European legends under innumerable names, but Father Christmas arose as a reactionary figure in the 16th century England. Of course, it goes on, talks about Christmas celebrations. Caution, there's a lot here. And so that's just about the character. So right there in the beginning, and this is just the major arcana. You can tell I'm all over the place in this video, so you're in for a wild ride. Okay, so here he goes into the meaning of the card, which is a lot of fun. And then he has the divinatory meaning, and he does have a reversed meaning. So for those of you who are looking to get into reversals, this might be a really fun deck for that. And the Wheel of the Year, nice. They have that for the wheel, perfect. And then of course they have it at the top. And of course, midwinter is about the winter solstice, the longest night of the year when the sun is reborn. Justice, oh, he got some coal. I remember one year my dad got just a cheapy little stocking filled with coal that he hung up just to be silly, to kind of tease me a little bit. And boy, was I upset. I think I must have been about 7. The Hanged Man. And just to tell you, so my husband's mother was full Polish. My husband's father was full Finnish. They were first generation here and first generation born here. Anyway, he used to get in his stocking, he would get oranges and stuff like that, raisins. And so the whole stocking thing, when he got older, like especially when we got married, he was like, stockings are way cooler. We're way cooler in your family. What were stockings like in your family? Did you have stockings? Did you do that? Did you open your stockings in the morning? What were the ideologies behind your stockings? That's really interesting. In our family, when I had kids, it evolved. And so everything that was in the stocking, there maybe be 1 or 2 things in the stocking, but it was from family members. When I was growing up, the entire stocking was filled by Santa. So big changes. How did your stocking work? Okay, here's death. Wow, what is going on in this card? Looks like roses on the ground, and he's coming up the rose crown. So there's going to be a whole story behind this, but looks like death is here knocking on that door. And so that's really interesting. Later in the month, I'm going to have a spread, a Yuletide spread for you, a winter solstice spread that you can use that will kind of bring you into finishing out the year, and a New Year spread. Okay, balance, nice. That is cool for temperance. I like that. It makes me think that, is he checking his list? I can't tell if he's checking his list. What? No, he's in his sleigh. Oh, he's balancing time. He is bending time in order to make it to everybody's house. Oh, I know who this is. Krampus. How perfect is that? Oh my gosh. So now we've gone German. And he is picking up. He's left apples for the good little girl, and he will be taking the bad little boy and beating him. Usually in a sack. That doesn't always end good. Krampus does eat children. Let me know if you grew up with Krampus. That would be interesting if you're around the world. The lightning tree. Wow. That's for the tower. That is really cool. The star at the top of the... I can't wait to read a bunch of his explanations because he really is such a good writer. He's an amazing writer. Christopher Hughes is an amazing writer. The moon. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about this moon. I'm pretty picky about this card. Let me know, what are your favorite cards? Like, what cards are very important to you when you open up the tarot? Let me know down below in the comments. The sun. Now, of course, these are my first impressions, and sometimes I read the book and I go, wow, that was so great. The list, this is judgment. What a cute idea. And then the world is the world. And so... that's interesting. She's got the wreath. And, well, I see water and fire. I'm not sure which ones of these is earth and air, but there's the elements. Ace of Candles. So here we go into, this must be wands. This must be, Ace of Candles. Oh, we're going to have all of the aces at once. Let's put these out. That's cool. Ace of Candles. So we have fire. Water is Ace of Good Cheer. That's cool. Then we have the, we got to kind of do it this way so we can fit them all on the screen. Then we have Ace of Canes. Is that, so... how's he doing this? Ace of Gifts. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat and look it up real quick. All right, so this is something that I am already really loving about this book, is that we're going to have, you have all of the aces. So when you start with the minor arcana, you start with all of the aces. You don't, this doesn't go by suit, and I really enjoy that. So Earth is gifts, gifts from the earth. Canes is air. Good cheer is water, and then candles is fire. Wonderful. And then we have the twos that we move into. And so this card right here, the Two of Cups, is a very important card to me. It's got to be good. It's something that I really look at a deck. I really like this. I like that they're looking and they're kind of toasting kind of to each other. And they're looking at each other, and it's a smile. It doesn't seem romantic. It seems like, wow. So this is a really important card for me. Look at this Two of Swords, how the eyes are covered by the hands being up. I think this is so clever. Two of Candles, writing letters. Interesting. So like, yeah, writing to your future self. That's kind of what I feel like, sending it off into the universe. Oh, I like this. This is very well thought. And then gifts, of course. There's the Two of Gifts. And the Three of Pentacles is important to me. It's an important one because it's about collaboration. And I can see here it kind of coming together, but there's nobody else in there. That's kind of interesting that there's nobody else in the photo. I love that her head is covered. That is super fun. And the fours. Okay, so, and out of this aspect, the Four of, look here, the Four of Cups, good job. She's like, oh, the coffee's crushed, but here it is, your other cup of coffee's waiting. Four of Wands, probably the most important out of all of the fours for me. Four of Wands is the Four of Candles here, and I love this. It's a sense of coming together and celebrating. Fives, now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that the fives are what I consider one of the most important turning point cards in the minor arcana. So let's take a look at the fives. Five of Candles. Okay. Well, you know, family dinners can be difficult. That's for sure. There can definitely be a lot of ideas that are tossed around. Sort of looks like that. Interesting. He's really taken the whole Yuletide experience and really put it in here, and so narrowed that and really made sure that it's very exemplary of what we experience during these holidays, at least in Western culture. I cannot verify this in Eastern culture at all, but in Western civilization aspects. The 5 of good cheer, you know. Of course, this is all Rider-Waite-Smith inspired, and I think this is good here with her looking at these broken glasses. And then there's these up here that look actually unbreakable. That's kind of an interesting idea. And even the picture of the rainbow is behind her. Then we've got the 5 of canes. So the 5 of swords, look at that. Ooh, what a naughty boy. That wasn't very nice, was it? Wrecked their snowman. That really has a feeling to it, doesn't it? Like he's just so gleefully like, ha, ha, ha. And they're really upset, like, what happened? And he's super bummed. And then the 5 of gifts, very traditional. Nothing incredibly different going on here. What is this in her hand? She's like reaching into a bag for something. That's pretty traditional. I know I'm going really slowly, you guys. 6. How many of you would even consider getting a deck just for the Yuletide season? And honestly, I wasn't going to do it. But I then was like, you know what? I love Christopher Hughes. I'm actually studying with him this year. So that's how much I like him. And so I thought, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and check it out. Here we have the 7s. Let's look at the 7 of swords. Interesting. He's taking, well, it looks like brown paper packages, but maybe he's like emptying the shelves of all the candy canes, which is interesting. 7 of gifts. Let's look at the 7 of cups. 7 of good cheer. Interesting. It's got all the different things in it, but the snowman looks kind of sad. I don't really view this card as necessarily sad, but it is sad when we're in this state because we are looking for something outside of ourselves. And it's kind of a all that glitters thing where everything is shiny and we're looking at so many different things that we want. And we don't have a sense of what we really want because it isn't about what we really want. It's about external things is what I find with this card. So interesting. Interesting. Here we are in the 8s. Nice 8 of swords. This is where the 8, 9, and 10 of swords are really important to me. 8 of candles. I challenge creators to do something new and exciting with the 8 of wands. Can we just get something new and exciting? Because this is not it. Yeah, it's just not it. But this is about what we get in every deck, don't we? People just don't know what to do with the 8 of wands because it really is about momentum that started way back in this suit. 8 of good cheer. Look at all of those drinks going around. It's kind of cool. And the 9s. Here we go. Into the 9 of swords. Under the covers hiding. That's very true. Under the covers just hiding. 9 of good cheer. Look at that. This is so true. Like after the evening meal with your family, like you're tired, but you're like, wow, it was just so wonderful to see everyone and the house is a wreck, but you're just like, you're so satiated. At least I am. I'm like, wow, if my kids are there, it's even better. I have adult kids now. How many of you have adult children? So you know how this is. Like I don't always get all of my adult kids because they have families and other lives and other in-laws that they have to spend time with. So 9 of candles. Oh, isn't that interesting with it breaking? Yeah, okay. Now here we are at the 10s. And of course, in the 10s, what we see is that the female energies are very happy in the 10 realm, the divine feminine energies. So the cups and the pentacles are always happier in the 10s. And I'm going to be doing a minor arcana study. You may want to sign up for my newsletter so that you get notified of that, where I'm going to go through and talk about how the divine feminine and divine masculine energies play out in each number. So the 10 of good cheer, of course, it's just happy and wonderful. The happy family card. There we are. This is so interesting. There they are. And here we have, look at the 10 of canes, you guys. Isn't that great? That's a pretty vicious snowman killing. Okay, we're going to quickly whip through. Tell me what you guys think of this deck. I know this is really long. Flip throughs tend to be a little bit longer. King of Castles. Oh, Candles, sorry. King of Castles. King of Candles. So there we have Wands. So we're starting with the King, so we're moving down. I wonder if it'll go King. No, it does. It goes straight down. So this isn't... All right. It's interesting with the ship in a bottle. I'd have to think about that. I'm kind of just... I know I'm being really silent. The King of Gifts. King of Pentacles there. I like that King of Pentacles. That's really sweet. So... Interestingly enough, look at this again. We go from the same scene now to the Queen. Same scene. That's noteworthy. Same scene. Again, same scene. So it looks like that's going to be that way for each one. I like this idea because it's how does the energy play out in the same situation? How does the Queen energy play out, you know, in each situation? Here she's got letters. Here he's got... I'm going to be interested to see what this ship in a bottle is for him. And there's the Queen. I'm not particularly impressed with the court cards so far, honestly. I'm just not. They're kind of meh. Sorry, Christopher. Not particularly impressed. I might be more later, and I might do an update later. I might not. But here we have, again, same scene in the Knights. And we have, except for the Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight, we have some aspect of transportation in each one. We have the horse here in the cups. And I like that he's got like this sort of like a love letter card there. Very, very Knight of Cups. And he's got a sled here in the Knight of Swords. And then the train here in the Knight of Wands, Knight of Candles. And then, of course, he's just got a bonsai tree. I love it. He's just like sitting quietly. That's really cute. And then we go on to, and finally, the pages. So, you know, let me know what you think of this deck. I have not had a chance to work with it, but we did go over the book. I did not look to see, I do not see, like, it's got a tarot basics and an introduction. Let's see at the end what he's got. He does have reversed meaning. So as far as the minor arcana goes, it looks like in the courts, he does have an upright and a reversed meaning. Let's look back here. Upright. Okay, so interesting. In the minor arcana, he's got about the card. He's got the divinatory meaning and the reversed meaning. So that's really cool. And you'll see that there are keywords in the book as well. I was hoping that maybe he'd have a cool spread or two. And it looks like he does. It's got a little chart back here. Oh, 12 days of Yule spread. That's kind of fun. Maybe I'll actually do a video on that. That might be kind of fun to do, huh? The Darkest Night spread. The 3 Ghosts spread. And that was obviously a Night Before Christmas reference. And then the list. This is interesting. This looks really good. Really, really good. So different spreads. I really appreciate it when they go ahead and they do something else other than, you know, the same old past, present, and future. Please, can we just stop publishing that spread as if we're saying something to the public at all? Please, please. You are not going to find that. When I finally do a deck, you are not going to find that in my book, period. Again, we have the typical Llewellyn book. It's not wanting to go in for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what I'm snagging on. But see, already this is loose, which is why I don't like these. And they take up a huge amount of room on my shelves, and I don't like that about it. I think that's as far as it goes in. Let me know if you plan on buying this deck or if you already did. Of course, it's been out for a while. Until we meet again, may your Yuletide season be filled with joy, and may the promise of a new year, the light returning, and all that it brings, bring you to a place of real enjoyment for who you are and everything that you have.